we have the lake, we have mountains, we have all of these incredible things, and us being able to add art to that mix really adds an extra level of interest to the town, personality, a sort of character that we have developed over a couple decades now, where people come to Coeur d'Alene and they're not just noticing the lake and the mountains anymore. They come from cities all over the world and they recognize that Coeur d'Alene's actually developed into a world-class center for public art.
It creates a sense of pride for the community and also a sense of place. It's recognizable. People have strong feelings towards the art in the community, whether they love it, whether they're questioning of it, or whether they just don't like it. But it does create a sense of place and home to them.
The impact and benefits of public art have proven to be more than just visual stimuli.
Studies have shown art, parks, and green space rank higher than education, safety, and local economy as an economic driver.
Arts Commission Chair Jennifer Drake shares that selecting Coeur d'Alene Public Art is much more than just shopping for art.
We know we could go shopping for art if we wanted to, but we want art that was created for us, that really gives us that sense of place and that sense of community, and that it was meant for the people of Coeur d'Alene.
Drake, along with City Council member Amy Evans, who serves as the city's Arts Commission liaison, detail the process the commission follows in choosing art for our community.
We do what we call a call to artist. We put out the call, which means we describe the piece of art we're looking for and the dimensions, the parameters, the budget, things like that, the timeline. That call goes out to either artists internationally, nationally, or regionally. Sometimes we limit calls just to the region or the community of Coeur d'Alene because we want those pieces to be specifically done by local artists. But most of the time it's nationally or internationally, and we send it out into the art world and we say this is what we're looking for.
The Arts Commission works alongside of community volunteers made up of various professions and expertise throughout the community to review the submissions. Therefore, we strive to create a diverse collection through our volunteers, something for everyone. We have historical pieces, we have modern art, such as the arches. We have interactive pieces for children to crawl on or experience in tactile ways. We have storybook pieces such as Mudgy and Millie throughout the community. So really what the committee and the commission do is look for a broad range of art to be spread evenly throughout the community.
And that subcommittee goes through all of the applications and all of the artist profiles, and they wind it down to a handful of finalists. Then those finalists go out for public input, and everybody's welcome to come. It's usually at the library and City Hall. The public is welcome to come, give input on their favorite pieces, what they like, what they dislike. Then the Arts Commission gets back together. We take all of that public input together. The subcommittee selects what they think is the best finalist. The Arts Commission approves it, and that goes to City Council, and then we hit the ground running to get some new art in.
Through technology, the Arts Commission communicates with artists worldwide.
We use the internet website cafe to get that out a lot farther than we used to. A long time ago, our city liaison would do it pretty much all manually by our own artist database. Now we use this internet database, and there are some calls we've gotten more than 200 responses back. When we did this process, it was great. We got to do some Skype interviews and things like that and actually speak to people in other countries who are very interested in doing art in, our city, a place that maybe they've never even heard of before.
The Art Commission's latest task of finding art pieces for the newly created Seltice Roundabouts posed some interesting challenges. And the art is credited for contributing a level of public safety.
When we're talking about a roundabout, we're actually talking about a more specific style of art because there is car traffic, there's safety issues to be considered.
Of course, public safety is first and foremost. We take the height into consideration, the openness of the art. Can you see through it, or is it a solid piece? We prefer it to have some visibility through it, as the umbrellas do, as well as the two new pieces on Seltice. It actually has been proven to help slow traffic and improve safety in a roundabout, and also create uniqueness to the community.
The call for the roundabouts went out together as two pieces, but one project, one call. And that made it actually our single biggest project we've ever done as a city, budget-wise and scope of the site.
It was decided that the Seltice Roundabout art pieces were to include elements in keeping with the area's history and culture.
The call for the Seltice pieces specifically requested some elements that represented our relationship with the Coeur d'Alene tribe, our relationship with nature, and the importance that nature plays in our community, as well as possibly some history.
Specifically that area around Seltice and the river, that's always been a thoroughfare, a passageway for people and creatures, and I loved that this art brought that sort of idea together.
Reno, Nevada artist David Boyer was selected to provide the art pieces for the Seltice Roundabouts. His submission was selected because it fit well with the criteria established for these locations and their uniqueness.
These submissions were the first ones that we did Skype interviews with the artist, which was so enlightening and educating to the committee because we learned so much more about the depth of the pieces.
So we got to learn more about the artists than just their ideas and what they were kind of pitching us to put into the city. And I think in that respect we got a lot more high quality applications and a lot more details of what this artist would actually be bringing to the project, as opposed to just a drawing on a paper or a little maquette showing us what they think it's going to look like.
These roundabout art pieces are unique because they are literally on the move.
One of the reasons that this specific piece worked so well was that it's birds and it's fish and it's actually kinetic, so it moves in the wind. And so you could be driving west in the morning and they'll all be facing one way, and you can drive east, you know, in the evening and they'll be facing the other way or different directions. When you're moving, it changes. When it's moving, it changes. And I think that is kind of incredible. I mean, you're seeing it from a new angle almost every time you drive by it.
The trend-setting efforts of the Coeur d'Alene Arts Commission shines as an inspirational example of how community art can beautify, stimulate, inform, and educate.
It's just how fortunate we are to live in Coeur d'Alene, in a community that values the art and the benefit it brings to us. It unites us, it creates great conversation, and just enhances the overall city.
And I love that we can be seen as a leader not just in our state, but in the region and the country, as yes, a community of this size can have a world-class collection of public art.